Hello again. Today we're talking about how to sell your home and buy a new one without going homeless and with minimal stress. By now you know that the Colorado real estate market is really hot. It's a seller's market, and the reason for that is there's an imbalance of supply versus demand. In other words, there are too few homes on the market for the number of buyers that we have that want to buy homes. So how do we solve that? We get more homes on the market. But interestingly, many homeowners that I talk to are afraid to put their home on the market because now they're in that buyer fray of competing and they think they're going to go homeless in the process. And that's a real fear for them. And so let's talk about some solutions on how to get around that. So the first option is the one that I find to be least viable, but I get it every so often as a question, so I want to cover it. And that is, can't I just get under contract to buy a house and move into that house before the sale is closed? Because I'm going to close the sale of my house, I'm going to have no place to live. I'm buying a house, why don't I just move into it? Well, perhaps you can see the host of problems that that's going to cause. What if you get in there, you're still doing your inspection or whatever, you find something you don't like? What's to say the seller isn't going to question whether you caused that defect and refuse to fix it even though it might have been something they caused, right? What happens if your sale doesn't go through for whatever reason, right? You're in a house you thought you were going to buy. Now you don't have a lease, you don't have anything, you have no protection. You got to get out, go find something. It's extremely messy, so that's one to avoid. Now the second option is probably the best, but it doesn't work for everybody. And that is to buy first and then sell your house. And the reason why it doesn't work is you either have to pay cash for the new house or get a loan, right? Not everybody has the cash to just pay cash outright, and very few people actually qualify, have the financial means and qualification to cover the mortgage in their current home as well as the mortgage in the one that they were moving to. Very few people have that option, but if you do have that option, it's a great one because it buys you all the time that you need. You buy your house, right? You spend your time fixing it up, and then when you're ready to move into it, when it's plug and play, let's say you've done all your renovations, all your fixes, you move in, spruce up your old house and sell it. It's empty, it shows better, etc., but you have to have the financial means to do that. The third option is also a very good one, but it does come with a little bit of uncertainty and a little bit of brain damage. And what it is you're going to put your house on the market for sale, and then you're going to go looking for a place to rent. Maybe it's just short term, maybe it's 6 months, whatever, but this gives you the option, the ability to sell your house, move into the rental, and what that does is it buys you the time and a little bit of comfort, a little time comfort to find the house that you're going to buy and move into. Right? So you're not in this frenetic rush because your house is going to close and you're going to be homeless. You already have a home to move to. Now the problem is you don't know what the market is going to be like when you buy your house. It might be better for you, it might be worse. Now option number 4 is one that works a little better in a buyer's market than in a seller's market. And that is you're going to make an offer to buy somebody's property contingent upon you selling your property. So you can see where that gets sticky. Put yourself in the seller's shoes. You've had 50 showings over the weekend, you got 15 offers in hand, and they're all good offers, and then you get this one that comes in that says, hey, I want to put my hat in the ring, but you know what, I have to sell my home first, you have to wait, your closing has to wait until I sell my house. Now you got all these other offers as seller, why wouldn't you take one of these other offers? The only reason why you would take the contingent offer is if it had way better terms otherwise than the other offers. And if you're able as a buyer to offer those kind of terms, then maybe you need a different strategy. There are better strategies for you than trying to buy contingent. Now, where contingency really works well in this market is with off-market properties. These are people who have tried to sell and they couldn't for some reason sell. These are people who are thinking about selling and haven't even talked to a broker yet. You might be able to convince them that they're selling their house to you is more advantageous. Maybe they don't want to go through a whole ton of showings. Maybe they don't want to prepare their house at all. And you can say, hey, tidy it up enough so that I can actually see the bones and we're good. I'll talk about this more in a different video, but for now, contingent offers probably aren't great in this market. Now option number 5 is the one that's most viable for the most number of homeowners in this market who want to sell. And that is buy yourself some time. So you're a seller in a seller's market. So you can literally ask the buyers what terms you want, tell them what terms you want, and most of them will give them to you if they're able. So there are two terms that you're interested in. One, perhaps ask for a slightly longer contract. Most homes are closing within 3 to 4 weeks if they have a loan. And so you ask for a little bit more time. That gives you a little bit of time to go out and look a little bit more at the market, get a better idea of what hopefully you've done this homework before, but you also have the ability, you can a little more time to pack, a little bit more comfort. It's not so much of a rush, okay? You can forego that because number 2 is the more important one. Number 2 is ask for 60 days rent back after you've sold your house. So buyer becomes owner, landlord, you become tenant. And Colorado law says we have this 2-page form, and you can go up to 60 days with just this 2-page form. And past 60 days, you have to get an attorney involved, or you have to fill out a longer form lease yourself. But we have those contracts in the approved contracts for up to 60 days. So what that does is that buys you, see, remember, it takes 3 to 4 weeks to close. So 60 days buys you a little comfort to go out and find that home that you want, get it under contract, get it closed. And if you're really brisk about it, you're going to have a little bit of extra time that you can spend to make repairs in your house, maybe make some light renovations, etc. Or what you do is that contract has a pretty short termination time frame built in. You just make sure that you have that intact. And then when you've bought your new home, you can give short notice, spend that time moving out, and you're good. So that's it, you guys. 5 ways to sell your house, buy a new one without going crazy or homeless in the process. Hey, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.